Welcome back to your friendly neighborhood AI wife. I want to get straight into what's going on. So yesterday, Jess Hilarious went on Instagram and did a live where she talked about her experience and how she's been feeling on The Breakfast Club. If you don't know much about Jess Hilarious, she was the most recent co-host. Prior to her being on the show, Angela Yee was one of the commentators for a long time alongside Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy. They were the three-pack that everybody knew about. I've been listening to The Breakfast Club for years. It is a local radio station in New York that is broadcasted everywhere. It has a lot of listeners and a lot of people listen to it. Well, Jess Hilarious, she was hired on to take that full-time replacement spot. This was months back. Now, this is the thing. Originally, when she was doing the guest co-host, because that's what they did, they had an interim time where they were trying out different guest hosts. Jess Hilarious being one of them. Another person was also Lauren LaRosa. There was also a couple other people. Angela Rye did some guest appearances. They just kind of wanted to see who was going to be the best person on that show. Now, Jess Hilarious finally got the position. People thought she's going to be the one to do it. The drama was, back then, if you remember, she announced at one of her parties, I got the job. This was before it was official, right? Everybody kind of had an idea that she was going to get it, but this was before it was official. She announced it. Long story short, people were talking about she's not going to get that job now. She announced it too early. Well, she ended up getting it. They rolled out the red carpet for her. She ended up getting that position. She's working at the Breakfast Club. She's doing good. She has Jess with the Mess. She's bringing her perspective. She talked about all different stories. I remember there was a story with Meghan Markle and she was bringing all of the tea. She was bringing all the information. But the thing was, shortly after she was in that position for too long, she announced that she was pregnant and that she was eventually going to be going on to a maternity leave. Now, this is when it kind of gets a little strange. Now, during the time that she finally stepped away to go on maternity leave, which happens often every single day in America, women go on maternity leave, Lauren LaRosa then took that spot full time. Now, if you didn't know, which is something that I just learned, Lauren LaRosa, previous to being on this, was on TMZ. I didn't know about this and just till recently, which makes a lot more sense because I always felt like Lauren LaRosa was extremely seasoned and that she knew what she was doing, and she just brought more of hard-hitting facts. She was more cultured on topics. You could tell that she would do more investigative style reporting, whereas Jess was just very much, she was bringing the lighthearted jokes. She would roast people. She would talk about stuff like that. So while Jess was gone during maternity leave, Lauren LaRosa came in and pretty much changed that entire segment. It was no longer Jess with the Mess. Lauren LaRosa was bringing daily topics. Now, as well as her doing it, they would have another person who came in and just brought straight journalism, which was Morgan. And I believe somebody else too at the time. So I can't remember who else did it, but I do know that Morgan's been helping for quite some time. Well, this is the deal. As Jess comes back off of maternity leave, Lauren LaRosa was in this position for 3 months. Now Jess comes back and she's wondering, what is going on here? Why is this girl not leaving? Now, when Jess first came back, I remember Lauren LaRosa was there for a while, but then it would be like a Monday, right? She would be there on a Monday. She would kind of do a little bit of commentary, but then she would be gone to where it was just solely Jess. And you would only hear Jess. Now, if Jess would go on a trip, if she had to go do a comedy show, because she is still a full-blown comedian and she is still out here on the circuit. So what you would notice is on the days that Jess wasn't there, they would have Lauren LaRosa come in. And there would even be times when DJ Envy or Charlamagne was like, is Lauren here? No, she's not here. So she wasn't there 100% the time that Jess came back. And I know this because I would listen to the show daily, so I remember when she wasn't there. But it became evident the more that over a period of time when Jess was back, you would hear Lauren LaRosa slowly kind of come into more stories. And the reason is because Jess brings that comedian perspective. But when it was time to talk about hard-hitting facts, she would look towards Lauren LaRosa for that. So whether it be the story on Wendy Williams, another story that required certain details from a lawyer's opinion or a different point of view, Lauren LaRosa was better versed at that. So she would bring Lauren LaRosa in. Now, I think this is where the slippery slope happened because people already had the opportunity to start liking Lauren LaRosa. They liked what she was bringing. It's kind of, reminiscent of what Angela Yee did because Angela Yee used to bring those type of topics. She was very well versed. She knew a lot of stuff, whereas Jess Hilarious is just pretty much focused on the comedian aspect. So now Jess Hilarious is back. She's kind of bringing in Lauren LaRosa to do more of the facts and the stories to where I think what happened was she just starts to be there a little bit longer, right? And Jess is going, what's going on? I'm back. This girl's here. Are we both doing the same job? I'm sure she felt some kind of way because if you're competitive and at your work, you're going to go, what is going on? To the point where during one of the shows, And I think this even happened a couple times. It happened a couple times where Jess is talking and Lauren is also talking and she's talking over her. So Jess is like, hush, hush, hush your mouth. And yesterday on a live, Jess is going over all of this of her experience. She is talking about all of this and kind of how she's feeling of the show. I wanted to give you a little bit of background what's going on. So yesterday, Jess Hilarious is going on live talking about as if, I'm not saying that I don't like the girl, but when I first came back, I thought that she was kind of, out for me. I didn't know what was going on, but I realized that's not what's going on here. I like the girl, but nobody's giving me the sign of what am I here or am I not? Like, why are we both doing this job? She is struggling because nobody is telling her what is really going on. And she thought that she was going to be the only person. There was going to be 3 co-hosts and not 4. So she did a large rant yesterday on Instagram. Everybody is covering this story. Everybody is talking about this. She's saying how she feels as if nobody has come to her aid. Nobody has come to support her. She doesn't know what's going on. And tensions were very, very high during her live. Fast forward to today, The Breakfast Club opens up with them talking about this real life in real time. And I almost wondered, are they struggling for ratings? Because this is a very serious conversation. You could tell that Jess is distraught. She is crying at one point, breaking down in tears when DJ Envy's talking to her. Her and Lauren LaRosa go back and forth and they're talking. And Lauren's like, hey, I didn't know you felt like this. I told you that if you ever wanted to really talk about anything, we could talk about this off camera. And I let you know when I first started here that I was never going to get petty with you like that. Like, we would always find a way to talk it out. So it was very uncomfortable to watch, but they got it out in the air. They got it out in the open to where Jess is feeling like, what is going on? Are we doing a 4-pack here? Why is this girl here all the time? And it comes to find out she's also a producer there. So I've learned so much about Lauren LaRosa as far as her background of being over at TMZ for about 7-8 years. She's a producer. She's also a producer on the show at The Breakfast Club. And if you get an opportunity, you need to go look at the actual interview of her today on The Breakfast Club because it gets really intense. And where Jess is feeling like they didn't get a lot of support, I feel like she's being very naive in a certain way to where I want to take it back to the pregnancy and having maternity leave. I have worked at plenty of places where I've seen women go on maternity leave and when they come back, the position's not the same. If people get an opportunity to miss you and see that somebody else can do your job and might feel like they can do it better, you are easily replaced. Is it a hard pill to swallow? Absolutely. But does it happen? Yes. And in this case, my honest opinion is Lauren LaRosa brings the juicier topics. She finds the facts. She knows the information. She knows what she's doing. Jess is great as a comedian. She's great as bringing in, the comedic relief, but she doesn't bring what Lauren LaRosa does. So I feel like she's feeling it big time and she's feeling pressure, which is why she broke down on her live yesterday, got really emotional. She broke down today. So I think in the next couple days, we're going to figure out if she's even going to still be on this show, what it's going to look like, because everybody is talking about this. I really do feel like Lauren LaRosa is a great addition to that show. She brings the daily topics, the daily, reports. I like it because I'm someone who seeks out news and I want to know information. And I love comedy too, but it's like, can you bring the facts? Can you bring the details? And I think that is what's really missing on that show, because if you just have to listen to DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God all the time, you'll just go nuts. It's like, come on, can somebody with a brain come on here and talk about stuff? And I feel like that's what Lauren LaRosa does. Is it easy to watch Jess in that position? No, but I feel like sometimes as women, we need to realize what it really is and not get so in a position where we think that we're not replaceable, because all of us are. All of us are. And this is just an ongoing story. I'm going to talk more about it, but I really just wanted to rant because it's everywhere and I wanted to get some of my thoughts out to you guys. Drop how you feel in the comments. What do you think is the situation here? Are you for Lauren LaRosa? Are you for Jess Hilarious? What do you think? How do you think this should be shaken up as far as Breakfast Club goes? All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace out.